Guys, we're here with episode 2 of Not Another Powerlifting Podcast. I'm here with Gray and Joe Sullivan. Joe is an elite 220, 198, 242.
Not 198. We know that now.
We found that out the hard way, but yeah, Joe's an elite raw lifter. He totaled 21-21 at the first U.S. Open, and yeah, did really well there. And yeah, so we're very fortunate to have this guy on, Joe. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure, man. Like I was telling you guys, like we just ate lunch at M&M Diner in London, Ohio.
It's
so
fucking
go buy their food if you're ever in Columbus. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, glad to be on.
Yeah, so Joe let us train at EliteFTS today, which was a dream come true for Gray and I, which is just awesome. And but Joe, we kind of talked about it a little bit. Do you want to kind of talk about how you got into powerlifting, when you got into powerlifting? You've been in it for, I think, a lot longer than people kind of understand.
Yeah, well, like we were talking in the gym, like people see the guys that have the all-time highest totals, the guys that have the big totals, the guys that get the big Instagram following and are doing all the crazy stuff that they're doing now, but a lot of people don't see the beginning of that. And like I was fortunate enough to have a powerlifting club at my high school that sort of guided me as I got in there, because back then I was basically the poster boy for childhood obesity. I was like 282 pounds at like 13 years old and just round, like my exercise was the little analog sticks on the PlayStation 2 controller. And
hey, don't sleep on PS2.
Yeah, no, I know, dude. They did the remake of Shadow of the Colossus. Like, that was awesome.
Let's rage one day.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, like I was a big kid, and I'm just lucky. Powerlifting was there because it sort of gave me some guidance as to what to do, and pair that with high school wrestling, and
yeah, I
was in a good spot. But I've been doing it since I was 14, like 13, 14 years old. Not exactly sure what the exact date was, but my first meet was at 14. I was a 275-pound lifter in that weight class, in single ply, in my old like Titan THP wraps, and I hit a 1,075-pound total at 275 pounds body weight. So that's.
I think that's a good thing to highlight to start the video. Like with powerlifting growing in popularity, not necessarily numbers, but raw lifting I think is growing, women's powerlifting is growing, and like on Instagram and stuff, like you just said, you have 30,000 followers now. I think that's a sweet thing to be able to highlight. So rewind, Joe just said that he totaled what, a little over 1,000 in single ply when he was 14 in single ply. And how old are you now?
Just turned 25. So
Joe just turned 25, so he spent 12 years under a barbell, 11 years under a barbell, and he just totaled 21.
I was just.
Was that bad? Was it bad?
A little bit. I was like, that's why we lift weights, bro.
Not a math major. But however that long he's been under the barbell, but he literally has, we were talking at lunch, and he's literally put 1,000 pounds on his total in 10 years. So the big thing I see in the sport with being around the gym, Joe, you probably see it too, Gray, I'm sure you see it, we've talked about it. People come into the sport for 6 months, and as soon as they stop getting those beginner gains, they stop hitting those 10-pound PRs. I think Joe's a poster child for, fuck you to the people that say, genetics, Joe has crazy genetics, because if you check out his Instagram, he just posted a picture of when he was, 13, 14. So, I think that's a really cool thing to just highlight, to start the interview and everything. But, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, like, it's just not saying that you want to, but you can outlast other people. Like, you can outlast talent if you just keep going, even if it takes you, like, it took me, like, over a decade. It might take somebody over 20 years, but, like, if you keep going, you're going to make progress no matter how slow that progress is. And it's if you care about it, it's worth your while to stick with it. So
that's the game, right?
That's all it is.
Yeah. As long as you're in it.
Yeah.
It's hard to suck at something if you do it for like 20 years.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about powerlifting. You almost just have to show up for
exactly.
20 years.
Well, I mean, shoot, like you can show up to a meet and like lift the bar and you'll get first place.
Yeah,
well,
everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah.
Seriously, there are 80 trophies at a powerlifting meet now. Everyone in this room is a state champion holders too. So.
Exactly.
So with everyone coming into powerlifting, what's some advice? Some quick advice you'd have for them? training or outside of training, what do you think is some stuff you would want to highlight to a new beginner if they were sitting here right now?
Honestly, it depends on what their goals are, because I've spoken with people that are starting off that tell me I want to be the best in the world someday, and it's all going to be really similar starting off, but you might ask them or expect them to focus on some other stuff, because people that are just starting off powerlifting that just want to be the best that they can be, and make the progress that they can, but they're like, I'm not looking to win the world championship or go to IPF Worlds or the US Open one day. Those people, I just say just biggest thing you can do is stick with the program and believe in the program, because you guys are doing conjugate style stuff right now. There are people that are doing Shaiko style stuff. There are people that are doing daily undulating periodization at 5 times a week frequencies. There's all these different ways that you can get strong, but ultimately it'll get you strong.
Yeah.
If you believe in what you're doing and put your best effort towards what you're doing, I could with some of my clients that I work with, bullheaded dudes, and they just believe in themselves and believe in whatever I give them. I could say go punch that wall for 10 sets of 10, and they'd increase their bench press because they punch the shit out of that wall. It's believing in what you're doing and doing it with a purpose.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. My first 2 years, my first ever training partner, Jordan Walker, he did all my programming for me, and that thing was a Bible to me.
Mm-hmm.
If it said 3x20, I didn't do
3x20,
and it was every day, and I couldn't wait to get that next month of training. I think that's a sweet idea, because really, if you're just beginning in it and you're just trying to better yourself, no matter what you do, you're going to get stronger.
Exactly.
Right? So anything to add on that?
Well, just for the people, we've got a topic of programming. So who does your programming? What do you do right now?
I'm one of the Kabuki Strength sponsored athletes. They're virtual coaching. They have a couple of different coaches in house. I get mine from the head coach, which is Brandon Sen. Great dude, very, very intelligent, much more so than myself. He's the type of guy, I'm the freight train that he has to hold back and
He's a
train.
conductor, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I love Brandon. I love being coached by those guys, and they're good people.
So you've utilized RPE before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still utilize it?
Somewhat. The way I do it, or the way Kabuki does it, actually, and I coach some online clients and some in-person people as well. It's basically the most strict interpretation of RPE that you can have, which is reps in reserve. So basically, if I say I want you, I'm aiming for 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps with 2 reps in reserve. It gives you a window of 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And you also are still considering how many reps you can do if you continue the set to failure. And it's failure with good form, because I wanted to touch on that too for all the beginners out there. If do everything with good form. That's the preface to everything.
I think that's one of the biggest things. You see them get hurt very early on in it.
Yeah.
But
it's RPE, useful tool. When what people don't understand about RPE is it's the rate of perceived exertion, and it is supposed to be objective. It is subjective, but it's designed as if it was objective. So it's not what it felt like, it's what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
And because everybody's oh, it felt like a 7, it felt like a 7, it moved easy. No, it felt easy. It didn't feel like a 7. That's not how you can portray that information. It's it should be objective, and if you take that reps in reserve approach, it's closer to being objective.
Yeah.
So just unbiased data when you're doing the training aspect.
So do you have a lot of obviously RPE is going to work in the auto regulation for lifters. So do you ever run into problems? You talked about feel, where you have to kind of change people's mindset as far as RPE. I know Josh and I ran a program going into our last meet, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
A lot of our main work was based on RPE, and it would come to where, you know, you have those days we talked about, like, you feel like shit, some days you feel good. So that RPE scale, like, sometimes you base it on feel it's going to move. Do you ever run into that problem with your clients?
I do, and there's sort of a couple of different ways that I could talk about it, because it falls on the coach to some degree, being able to identify that in their client, in the person that they're working with, and then maybe giving them a set weight range to work with. This is like what you should, like minimum today, maximum today, type of thing. Some people would benefit more from percentages, and that it's on the coach to identify that. Like some people just don't drive with RPE. That's some people really can't like check themselves, you know. And that's hard. Like I'm guilty of that sometimes. You know,
I know we were guilty of that all the time. It's like you have a shitty day. You hit 135 for your 8s, you know, the week before, but you feel like shit that day. Like, well, I have to go up to 140, but really it's a 9.5 instead of an 8.
Exactly, you know, and that's like, and I mean, it works in the other end too, because like you guys come out to Elite today, you know, and you're like, oh, I just have RPE 8 singles, you know, like it should just be like a last warm up, and then you have Dave Tate and Ted Tolston and me, and like, all right, what are you doing today, motherfucker? You know, and like they're like, okay, let's fucking go, man. You know, it's easy to get caught up in that regard too.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah, we got lucky that we had a max effort day today because it was nice. We didn't have to vary and get to do fun stuff. Yeah, the reason I brought up RP is because it seems like that's the popular thing in powerlifting right now. And like almost all the popular coaching is going through it. And I see a lot of people doing stuff that I disagree with, or it looks, you know, you can just watch something and tell it looks wrong a lot of times. And that's kind of, so you think the biggest problem with RPE is overshooting or not being able to analyze it?
It's letting your feelings dictate what you
almost
do.
Like
you're a lot of regulation back to that kind of, right?
It's being reactionary as opposed to being proactive. Like being proactive, having an absolute plan that this is what I'm going to stick with, this is what I'm going to do, and have contingencies to that plan. So a minimum or a maximum, or an alternative movement on this day. If like, oh man, like high bar squats irritate my SI, not being like, shit, the day's a wash, I can't do my high bar. Do belt squats, do goblet squats. It's having contingencies to that plan rather than being reactionary, where you don't plan ahead, you don't have a good plan to implement. You might have some sort of a plan, but you get there and there's a variable that you didn't think about, and then your whole thing goes to shit. So, words.
That's one thing that I do find interesting about when we were training today. When I was talking to you a little bit at the gym, you were talking about undulating periodization. Obviously, like I mentioned, we had come off that type of program. The program that we ran was extremely specific as far as the.
Sorry.
You're good.
We're still in a restaurant, guys.
I'm sorry.
No worries at all.
But the program we come off of was really, really specific. Whereas today I saw you bench with a Duffalo bar, or a Buffalo bar, either way. But that's that variation that you talked about, where you can come in and do a goblet squat or a belt squat or whatever. Now, how varied is your programming right now?
It's not incredibly. Like it basically, the way it works and what we were talking about, just so you guys are a little bit more aware of it. It's like you can find really good movements like squatting, benching, deadlifting, close grip bench, chest supported row, barbell row. You can progress on all those things. They're all great movements, and if you're getting stronger on them, you're probably just getting stronger in general. But there's a level of valuableness of variation, but variation that's still like, because you're still not forgetting your end goal. If you're a power lifter, you want numbers on your squat, numbers on your bench, numbers on your deadlift. Those are the goals. What can you do to put numbers on those? Variations, let's say close grip bench, close grip incline, dumbbell bench. If they're being done in a manner to reach your end goal, even if they're sort of like veering off to the side a little bit, it's just taking a little bit of a different path to get to that end goal. As long as you're with that end goal in mind, then it's beneficial.
So you could almost call that intentionally varied movements.
Yeah,
Whereas-
because how long can we all milk linear progression? Not forever. How long can we milk neuromuscular adaptation? Not forever. Longer than we think, a lot of the times, but not forever. And maybe in periods, and then that's where different blocks come into play. Because like me doing a triple on squats isn't gonna make me stronger if I do a triple for 12 months of the year every week.
Yeah.
So for 52 sessions, if I'm doing a triple on squats once a week for a whole year. No, that might not get me stronger, but doing however many sessions of safety squat bar, however many sessions of high bar pause, however many sessions, and we're getting more and more focused as we get closer, of 5-second eccentric squat with a pause in the hole. How many sessions of beltless competition specific squat, triple, and these are all triples, and then finally a 6-week period of triples on squats, just linearly progressing.
Yeah.
That's just periodization in general, like varying the focus of training. And you have to, it's sort of an artwork to it. You know, whether it's you doing your own coaching, you doing your own program, you programming for other people, or you just fucking talking about it, because we all love talking about lifting weights.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Exactly, you know, it's being flexible enough to think like, okay, this movement is going to help this person because this movement is going to, and then the 3 months after that, this movement is going to help this person because, and then 4 months after that, and so on until you get so specific that you're back at the end.
See, that was one of the things that I think when Josh and I did the undulating periodization prior to us getting going and training, that was one of the places that I think we went wrong. I mean, I'm just gonna be straight up honest. We talked about both having degrees in exercise science. When I found out about that, I wasn't super keen as far as like understanding it. I got the premise, but the program that we had got, our assistance work was planned out, things like that. So that intentional variability wasn't there because we would just do X, Y, Z every day. You know, you do that for, I mean, I ran the
first 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna develop so many weaknesses, but then when you talk and say you have that intentional variability, you know, you can change the angle of your hands when you dumbbell bench, something along those lines.
And it's being flexible like that, because I have, for instance, and for example, if you go on my Instagram videos, you'll see I'm doing a lot of the cambered press bar, overhead press. My program says overhead press, but it's a form of overhead press that doesn't irritate my shoulders, and I'm still doing a vertical pressing motion.
So
It's not all black and white.
Yeah, exactly. It's all gray, and it's just being like, I laughed in my head because that's your name. It's just being able to be flexible and being able to sort of adapt to what the situation calls for without forgetting the end goal.
That's the science of training.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think one big point I just took, and people can take from that, is we're all powerlifters. Most of the people that are watching this probably, so our sport is squat, bench, and deadlift. But find something that doesn't vary too much, that you're not getting the specific goal, but find something that you can have variance, and we're going to get you stronger in health to squat, bench, and deadlift, right?
Exactly.
So don't do, if you're a raw lifter with a 315 squat, don't do tripled purples from the ceiling, you know, you know, to a
Which
to
is
a
like,
36
just like
inch
Joe said,
box.
when he uses that camber bar to press, it doesn't irritate his shoulder,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you could do a straight bar, but what is irritating your shoulder gonna help you do? It's gonna help you get fucked up.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that's like what we talked about in the gym. If there's a variation that is close enough to your main movement that is still going to get that main movement stronger, that you haven't linearly progressed on ever before, you're doing yourself a disservice by not getting stronger on that movement. If you've never done incline close grip bench and you're like, I'm going to try this today, and you try it and you're piss weak at it and you suck at that movement, That's not that far from a competition bench press.
No, it's not.
I think you should probably get a little bit stronger in that
You
range
can
of
take
motion.
that from 185 to 225.
The-
Your competition bench
yes.
is going to go up.
And it might not, in that vein of thinking, it might not even go up. It might not even get stronger, but it might become more stable in a position.
Yeah.
So in the
You
long
might
run,
be-
it's helping.
yeah, exactly.
go
You
up.
might become more safer in a certain range of motion.
Absolutely.
More confident in a range of motion.
Yeah.
Is that going to pay off? Is that going to get you towards your end goal?
100%.
Probably. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Knowing your body is such a big thing too. Like,
Mhm.
like just because your workout partner, like just to use your overhead press thing, just because he does overhead press with a straight bar doesn't mean you can't use a cambered bar. Because he
Right.
does pull ups like this doesn't mean you can't do them with a neutral grip.
Right.
It's bugging you. You know what I mean? So I think knowing your body is just such a big deal, and I think
Mhm.
people think it's so black and white. He's a 500-pound squatter. I want to be a 500-pound squatter, so I'm going to do exactly what he does. But
And I am going to sort of rewind because that reminded me of something I wanted to talk about
Please.
too. You knowing your body, yes, that's correct to some degree, but
Mhm.
then there's so much there's a certain amount of value to seeing other lifters and what they're doing, because we were talking about beginner power lifters as well, like earlier.
yeah,
One of the best things that I ever did was find somebody that was built similarly to me, because we have awesome phones or computers in our pockets, because we have these smartphones now.
Yeah.
Find somebody that's built similarly to you. Probably, like if you're a short and stocky guy, look at how I lift. If you're a tall and lanky guy, there's Pete Rubish, like Kayla Willem, those
Yeah.
types of guys. Go on their Instagrams, on their YouTubes, on their whatever, Facebook, whatever you want to do. Look at how they lift. If you're not, if they're really, really good at deadlifting and you're really, really bad at deadlifting and you're built similarly to them, not saying completely copy their form, but maybe sort of look at it and be like, could
Analyze it.
could I like do that, or could I implement like what he's doing and maybe make my own better?
Yeah.
Because I found Jeremy Hamilton.
Oh,
Like
okay,
if you guys like, he's in 2014, 2015, he was the man.
Yeah.
You know, and he's built a lot of the ways like I am. He's short and stocky, and I was like, okay, he benches like this. Maybe I should bench like that, and not completely like that, but taking certain aspects of that and applying it to my own. It's just having that. It's knowing your body, but also trying to, if you want to be successful, seeing the other people be successful and be like, maybe I should be like that.
Chances are they did something.
Yeah, you know, it's
all
just
genetics.
yeah, right. It's just
It's all genetics.
taking a step back and trying to think like, what's the simplest thing that I could do here that could get me better?
Yeah.
Maybe just see other people that are really good at this and just watch them, and maybe just take some things from there.
That's what we talked about when we were reading. If you could just get that little nugget from anybody you talk to, anybody you see online or anything like that, it adds up.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I mean, like we've already said it before, and us three talked about it at lunch, but these guys will reach out to you. Like Joe was saying, it's just funny that you guys want to come talk to me, and I have 30,000 followers, and I don't know 30,000.
No, it's hilarious
Like,
because I'm just some dude. Like,
yeah.
I just drive out here on weekends and I lift weights with my friends. That's like.
But I can't tell you guys how much we learned just from being
Yes.
around Joe and a couple other guys today. Like Dave Tate, after my top set of box squat, gave me a really good pointer. Joe walked us through some hamstring movements. You know, like just
me up on
just
the curl.
just.
And,
you know,
well, there's a reason I wasn't doing them today.
Yeah.
It really ruined me, man.
But like these guys, like people in strength and conditioning and powerlifting, they've all been to where we were at, novices were at some point of the chain, so they will help you. Like Joe,
Absolutely.
the first time messing with me, he's like, "Hell yeah, man, let's make it happen. Let's talk."
Well, and that's the thing, like, because just like you were saying, it's because we know where other people are coming from. Like,
Yeah.
we were there ourselves. I was telling you guys, like, during lunch in 2013 or 2014, I paid $150 to come down to EliteFTS and lift at a Learn to Train, or it was the first powerlifting experience, like
Yeah.
one of those. And after that, I came down here and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to spend all that money, you know, do that, and like, I don't know if these guys are gonna want to talk to me. I'm some like fucking dork from Cleveland that's not that strong. Like, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen. And I come down here, and that's when I met Chris Duffin for the first time. That's when I met Dave Tate for the first time.
So helpful.
And I've stayed in contact with all of those guys, and they turned out to be my sponsors.
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say now you're a
But-
sponsored athlete.
and even so, like after my first meet after the powerlifting experience, Dave texted me, Chris emailed me, like we want to see people succeed, and like
Yeah.
Dave is a 50-something-year-old guy that's been in the sport for like longer than I've been alive, and he still answers every Instagram DM.
Yep,
he
that
does.
gets.
And I can attest to
Yeah,
that too.
and he's not lying about that.
No, he's not.
And if that man can do it, I can
Anybody
do
can do
it.
it,
You
yeah.
know, anybody can do it, and that's why it's like reach out to these people,
Yeah.
because if they're worth their salt at all, they're gonna respond to you and they're gonna try to help you out. It might take a minute, because I know everybody gets backed up now and
Yeah.
again.
Oh, absolutely.
But like they'll get back to you eventually, and that's how the sport grows. That's how people grow. That's how we all get better. And
That's how
the
great I've
bottom
been
line.
able to learn everything
Yeah.
that most
That's
of
how-
the
that's how we
learn.
started.
Yeah, and I mean, like I got a tattoo yesterday. Like that's
Yeah.
why I got that. I can just point at this now.
Yeah.
I don't have to say all the bullshit. It's
Yeah,
just like,
I can say this
Yeah.
guy practices what he preaches too, man. Like, that tattoo, I can tell that means a lot to him, and like what it symbolizes and everything, because he's very passionate in helping other people, and it's guys like this that make the sport, what it is, and reasons why we want to travel and keep learning and pass down information to people that ask Ray and myself. So, guys like Joe are what makes this sport, so awesome. So,
Thank you for
that. Oh, no problem. Nothing to make your head too big.
No,
Because you said
my ego's already huge. Like it's fine. It's like it's massive,
But
it's just how it goes.
But just a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Besides squat, benching, and deadlifting, to the specifics, what movements, like assisted movements, have you seen the biggest carryover for yourself and the clients? Like, is it Buffalo bar? Is it overhead pressing? Just hammering the fuck out of your triceps?
I'm gonna answer that sort of in a different way,
Okay.
because earlier we were talking about being intentionally variable
Yeah.
so that you can like achieve the goal
Yeah.
in any way that you can. I'm gonna say any really strong raw powerlifter, if you look at them, they have huge quads, they have a huge back, and they have huge triceps.
Yep.
That's very
So if you can get those muscle groups stronger in goblet squatting, belt squatting, chest supported rows, dumbbell rows, barbell rows, pull-ups, tricep extensions, push-ups, close grip bench, slingshot bench, incline bench, dumbbells, whatever, if you can get the quads, the back, and the triceps big as fuck and strong as fuck, you're gonna have a hell of a lot of strength progress
Yeah.
and a hell of a lot of strength gains.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
like whatever you need to do to get those things, get your quads stronger, get your triceps stronger, get your back stronger, and you're gonna be a hell of a good powerlifter.
Yeah. Yeah. People have already done the work for us. You know what I mean? You can kind of see what every powerlifter has in common. So yeah, that's a really good
doing
point.
it now.
Yeah.
Well, like porn, but
Well, yeah. That's certain kind of porn, but
midget porn.
that's just my history. But if you, that's what I'm saying. Like you just need, even if the guys that are like, oh man, he's lean for a powerlifter, or oh man, he's not built typically like a powerlifter, because people see Kaylor Woolham, and he's not super jacked. You
No,
know, he's
no.
not like he walks into a room and it's like, are you a bodybuilder? It's like that's a dude with muscle.
Yeah.
But he takes his shirt off and you see his back, and it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, it's muscles that I didn't even know existed in his back, and
Yeah.
what's he super good at is fucking deadlift. You know, it's like just sort of, again, taking a step back and being like, this means this. Maybe if I want this, I should do this.
It's all
You know?
little
Don't even overthink it. I
Yeah,
think people.
It's the KISS principle. It's keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like if stuff works and it's worked, and like, yeah, there might be a couple of different ways to do it. There might be some new methods like velocity training, undulating, whatever, you know, like any fucking new thing that comes up, like blood flow restriction. Any new thing like that, cool, you know, if it achieves that end goal.
Yeah.
However you have to get from here to here, whether it's going this path, or this path, or this path, or this path, or this path,
The end goal's the same.
The end goal is the same, and if you can get there, good. You know,
Yeah.
that's the end goal.
Yeah.
Do it. You know.
Just do it.
Yeah. So.
What about lifters, like intermediate novice lifters that aren't at the elite level? They're not like yourself training, you know, competing at US Open, Boston Bosses, meets like that. What do you think about big weight cuts for people that are, you know?
Gotta ask me about that.
I know, I don't want.
No, don't fucking do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like, man, I believe me, it's like the pot calling the kettle black, because I see these allure of the all-time world records and like having my name put down somewhere forever, and like these big cash prizes, and it's like, man, like, oh, it's tempting, you know, and like losing body weight, I can do that. He's done that. He's done that. You're not him though.
It affects everybody differently.
Yeah, yes, and until you do it, you don't know. And then you build up a giant meat that it's your goal to do this, and you train like hell for 6 months, or 12 weeks, or a year, or whatever, and you build it up, and you build it up, and you build it up, and you don't know how that cut is gonna affect you until that day. Might go great, might fucking kill you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't
Yeah,
know.
you don't know.
Yeah, and it's too much of a gamble. It's too much of a gamble whenever I go into a meet, and like my happiest meet, not even the US Open where I hit my biggest total, it was at Reebok Record Breakers in 2016.
That was before the US Open, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right before.
Yep, that was the meet I hyped up. Me and Jordan Long hyped up.
Oh, okay.
Like, shit talking back and forth and like posting Photoshop photos and whatever
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But that I have to say was like not my happiest meet, but my most joyful meet. Is that fine?
Oh yeah, it's good.
I don't know.
It's still
The screensaver just went on, so
Yeah,
I'm
there
not
you
being
go.
an idiot. But yeah, it was that meet. That's like not like the happiest or the best performance, but it was like the one that I felt the most joy in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just it was pure elation. I went 9 for 9. Perfect day.
Best day you could ask for, right?
Exactly. It was after I ruptured my bicep tendon.
Yeah.
It was like 21 weeks after, so people were telling me, don't do it, like just typical stuff, you know, and it's like, it's who I was, like I'm a bullheaded dude, like I'm not gonna take no for an answer, like you can't do this, is just gonna fire me up even more,
Yeah.
which is another reason why I might have done some stupid cuts before. But in the same vein of thought, it's like this meet was where I went in, I was just like, I just want to be as strong as possible. The goal is to out-total Jordan and put together a good meet and build up my confidence, just because I had my bicep surgery, the meet before that I bombed out. There was just a bunch of, like, it was just bad meet after bad meet. I was like, I just want a good meet.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. And I went 9 for 9, hit a 2,006 pound total, in the 242 weight class in sleeves. I didn't cut, I didn't do anything. I walked in and weighed 238. That's what I competed at. It was just like, whatever.
Make it easy.
You know, exactly. And that meet, it was the best meet of my life, because I had the most fun I had ever had there. I went 9 for 9, and it was literally a perfect day.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't cut. And did the cut change anything? Did me doing it at 242 decrease the value of me doing it? I could have done it at 275, and it still would have been my most joyful day ever. Because it's not about the money. It's not about anything super grandiose or anything. It's about doing the best that you can, having the most fun that you possibly can, and if you're a competitive dude like me, it's beating the other guy.
Yep.
You know, just based on strength.
Yep. So that's coming from a guy that has the opportunity to make money in powerlifting. You know, nobody makes really just off competing. No one makes a full-time living off it. But so a guy that has an opportunity to go to meets where the cash prize is 40 grand and plus, he's telling you not to cut weight. So why would you cut weight for, the way I look at it is just go and learn stuff, meet new people, and beat the other dudes in your weight class wherever you fall.
And that's like, just touching on that, like, if you want to cut weight to look better, just do like a body composition thing. Don't even worry about a weight class.
It's not the number
And
on the scale.
if you just like eat in a caloric deficit and then you compete at 220 but you weigh 201, fucking whatever, you look better than you did at the start of your diet. That should be your goal.
Exactly.
It shouldn't
That's
be a
the whole
number.
point,
It
right?
shouldn't be a number on a scale. It shouldn't be some arbitrary weight class. It should be what you want and like your visual perception of yourself.
Yeah.
If that's what it is, separate that from powerlifting and do that independent of powerlifting if you're also a powerlifter.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like sort of separate the two and you're gonna have a lot better experience
Absolutely.
doing one or the other, I feel like.
People get very wrapped up in like state federation records, and it's, once you realize no one really cares, you know.
Once you realize you can go to any one of your family reunions and tell them that you're a state
I
record
don't give
holder,
a shit.
even if you're not a state record holder, because nobody fucking cares,
All that happens
it's
is
gonna decrease the value. So it's like, whatever, okay, I don't need to do
all that's
this.
gonna happen is what happens to me. Your drunk uncle that's grilling's like, oh, I benched 405 in high school.
Yeah,
365,
exactly.
and you just feel like an asshole.
You're just gonna tell somebody something, and they're like, "Oh, that's it," and like,
Yeah.
"Oh, did you win money?" No. Okay, well, like what? I ran a 5K last weekend. Like that's basically
Same.
you
They
telling
want
me
a
the
gift
same
card.
fucking thing. Like what?
We're all just selling
What
15.
was it on TV? No. All right, cool. Like
Yeah.
whatever.
It's all about the followers. It's all about
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
If I could just sell Fit Tea.
yeah. Or the CBD oil now.
Yeah.
We really talked
Yeah.
about that on the way here.
I have a Herb Strong vape. I bought it. I bought into it.
Oh.
You know, it was just like everybody had a discount code. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Let's just
what?
rage and play PS2 one day, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I'll fall back into that, man. There's no moderation.
Let's
over
get
here.
the real void. Let's go.
Yeah. It's sitting there. PlayStation 2, Shadow of the Colossus or SOCOM Navy SEALs, fucking Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, or RuneScape. Like, that was what it was all about. And those frozen El Monterey taquitos, the chicken and cheddar,
yeah.
yeah,
Shit,
like,
son.
whole box of it, man. Like, big old glass of 2%.
I want you back at 282.
I'm probably 280 right now. Shit, man, I've been eating like
Fuck,
crazy.
308 then, whatever.
Well, yeah, whatever. Well, that's the thing. Weight class doesn't matter. Just get strong. It's fine. I doubled
Yeah, see?
I doubled 815 beltless last week.
Yep.
That was really cool. It makes me not care about a weight class. So like, just do cool shit.
Yeah. So no, we're all good. So
Fuck's going on.
that's all I have. That's all the questions I have. I don't know if you have anything
That's
else.
pretty much it.
Biggest thing, I just want to thank Joe again. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. We'll put his name in there. But what's your name on Instagram?
It's Joe Sullivan Powerlifter. I'm not creative at all. It's literally the most straightforward name.
Is there anything else you want to plug while you're here?
Oh, just basically like, as always, super grateful to Dave Tate and the guys at EliteFTS.
Yeah.
Like, they let me train out there on the weekends or whenever I want to. They let me invite whoever I want
Yeah,
to.
it
Like,
was-
I'm
it was
forever
amazing.
grateful. And I mean, like, shoot, I have it tattooed on my body now. It's live, learn, and pass on. Like, they've instilled that in me. Like, that's why I try to not be an asshole, and I try to help people as much as I can. And like that's the bottom line of all of this. Like, you guys should do that too. Like with anybody that you deal with. Big thank you to Kabuki Strength. They're my other main like contracted sponsor. Like they take care of me. Love Chris. Love everybody on that team. They do my coaching. I love those guys. Like, they came and cheered me up after my like bad cut at the US Open. You know, like I'm super grateful to have them. And Bacon and Barbells, based out of Canada, Jordan Moffat, he's my dude. Just again, like I'll talk crap about like coupon codes and all like the CBD oils and stuff like that. But they're all my buddies. I have coupon codes for them. But don't use the coupon codes. Pay full price. Go buy their shit. It's a small business. That's why I support them. It's Bacon and Barbells, Morphogen Nutrition, and based out of Columbus. That's Ben Hartman. He's awesome dude. Like, has tested WADA compliant products. Like, they're all tested in whatever facility. I don't know the science behind it, but they're all solid stuff.
Way above my pay grade.
Exactly. You know, like I lift weights. I don't do chemicals. Well, some chemicals.
Some chemicals.
But Morphogen Nutrition, Sibya shirts. Go buy his shirts. No discount code. Like, go buy them. Just support your stuff.
Fucking pay for it.
No, it's small businesses, and
And these
Yeah.
businesses are giving back into meets now, like the
Yeah.
Pioneer Fit. I saw the list of all the
Mhm.
small businesses in powerlifting that are struggling to get by, and they're still donating money for the lifters. So
Exactly.
yeah, just go buy some of this
Yeah,
stuff and support
Because
powerlifting. If you
ultimately, like with these shirts, it's just somebody like deciding to want to do online coaching, like or something like that. It's just some dude trying to get by, trying to
Yeah,
provide a product
absolutely.
and like either make people laugh or increase the quality of their lives somehow. So
Absolutely.
go support them. But that's it, I think.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much,
Hey,
man.
yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming out. Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, you guys are ever in town, just hit me up. Like,
Oh, yeah,
or you
really.
want to make the drive from Pittsburgh? Like,
Oh,
fuck it,
yeah.
like we'll come.
Yeah,
let's
we'll
go
be
out
back
and
out
drive,
here for
you know.
sure, man. Today
Yeah.
was a hell of an experience. Thank you to Dave Tate also.
Yeah,
for
thank you
having
to
us.
EliteFTS and Dave Tate
So-
for having us out.